better part of a month now. This has been an incredible run. I know it has been for me and many of the folks who were involved, just in terms of what it took to get it here. The short story on how it got here is in another capacity. I was working with Smith Group on a bid. One of the vice presidents, our Rosa, there's Rosa. Rosa was like, yeah, these guys back in D.C. at Smith Group office, they got this piece called Society's Cage. She showed it to me. It was a wrap. I was like, we got to bring it to Oakland. So when I figured out where it had been, you know, kind of what it represented, and then what, you know, Oakland is all about, that's why we decided to bring it here. So quick, fast, in a hurry, we did some fundraising and blah, 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 and there it is.
All right.
So we've got a couple of things just before we get started. One of the things we wanted to pay tribute to a brother named Prescott Rivas. Prescott was an African-American architect here, and I worked with him in many, many different capacities. We worked on contracts together. He was, well, actually, I'm going to have June Grant. June Grant is from the incredible architect in her own right, from Link Lab Architectures, but I'll let you.
Hi everyone, thank you for being here. June Grant, one of slightly less than 500 licensed Black female architects in the entire US. And I'm so excited to, and unexpectedly, be here and speaking because I really just came to enjoy. But I'm also the immediate past president of the San Francisco chapter of the National Organization of Minority Architects. We are a 40-plus year organization nationwide. One of the chief, I would say, cheerleaders was Prescott Rivas, who recently passed this February, and he worked with Randolph to get this here. I am super excited to have awarded this project a couple years ago when I was on an award committee. When I saw it, I said, yeah, we have to give it something. Really, really stunned that it made it to Oakland so fast, because I really thought it would take a year or two, like, you know, DC, Chicago, Boston, New York, and it wouldn't get to the West Coast for some time, and then here it is. So kudos to you, kudos to Rosa and Smith Group. Rosa is an amazing architect as well. I don't know how many architects are in the space, but usually you think we do pretty drawings and buildings, but voila, here we are. And I'm so excited to be able to do this on behalf of to open this and actually close it on behalf of SF NOMA. We're kind of like a silent organization, but what we really like is being able to put forward the issues in the community. We work closely with community groups and articulate their vision. And this is one example. We work closely with people like Randolph. We're actually teammates on a couple of projects. And this is what we like doing, is creating spaces for people to come together and celebrate. So I'm gonna hand it over to Randolph, and please join us in celebration of the closing night.
So what we did want to do, though, is kind of start this off, and another reason why Oakland is so significant is that we wanted to start this off in the spirit of kind of police terror and those who are fighting against police terror. We're in the home of the Black Panthers, and we've got Dr. Shaturu Ned, who's the founder of the Sacramento chapter and also the founder of the Black Panther Party Alumni Network, and also a member of the Lumpin'. Y'all don't know nothing about the Lumpin'.
That's that music, baby. That's that music. Come on now.
Who knew that the Black Panther Party had a house band? Huh? It cracks me up every time I hear it. All right. Dr. Ned.
to the people. I can't hear you. All power to the people. We used to say this symbol meant togetherness. The power starts within and we bring it out. And does it not mean more than it ever meant before? What we're seeing today is the stepping stones of what they wanted to do all along. And it always was resounding on the Constitution, our rights, our amendment rights. That's what the Black Panther Party stood on when they first went to Sacramento. I happened to be down there that day as a high school senior, cutting school, and I saw and witnessed the whole thing. The impact and impression the next year I joined, I was in the Black Panther Party for 14 of the 16 years. I became what they call a high profile. We were doing just about everything you can imagine. To fast forward today, you can learn our story on our website, which is the bppaln.org. bppaln.org. You Google it, it'll come up. And the network, since the party was officially ended at the Oakland Community Learning Center, which housed our school in 1982, the legacy has continued all this time. And the network is composed of everyone from people who were part of us before, from the Barbara Lees to people who are in business, to community organizers, to parents, grandparents, students all over this nation and the world. We seen the turmoil. We understood what happened with Black Lives Matter. We knew it was a civil rights movement. We knew the anger. And now the resettling of the issues that are still here. In the last 2 years, 600 black people have been murdered or killed by the police. The continuing destabilization of our youth and our communities. And we're diving right into that juvenile to prison pipeline, all of which is outlined here. The importance, when I got the message from Randolph about it was coming here, and the fact that it had to come here, the home of the Black Panther Party, and beyond. But the truth that is shown here. Now, if you go on our site, you'll see that we have historical walking tours. The amazing thing that has been happening since this exhibit has been here, we also have been touring a lot of independent schools, from the Harlem Prep School to schools out of Chicago, and even schools from San Mateo and beyond. And every group of those children that came here, we had to take them out of this exhibit. The last group I had was a group of 5th graders. And when they went around and read this, they were coming to me saying, did this really happen? And I tell them, yes, it did. And these kids were composed of every family, every makeup that is the makeup of the Bay Area. Did this really take place? Why did it take place? We can't let this happen anymore. This is coming from 5th graders. And when they went inside and they read everything possible, the facts of connecting the dots, they asked me, 2 of them came and said, why do they say go in and hold your breath as long as you can and close your eyes? And then one of them read the part about the lynching. And they came and said, think about it. You're not going to come back if you're hanging versus holding your breath where you would black out. They got the inference, the understanding of what this whole important exhibit. And I thank the instructors and their parents for having the insight. This has nothing to do with critical race theory or critical theory. It is the truth. And children and the neighborhoods and people and families deserve to know the truth. All my people out here, and I always say, brothers and sisters and friends, if we got any enemies out there, like Malcolm would say, so be it. But we're in for a rocky road. So let's batten down the hatches. We have to do it together, just like we did before. So our network is supporting this, and I'm happy you mentioned right here in City Hall. We were talking about, I wish we could have this here all the way through the end of the year, and everybody else would just be jealous. They should have come to the point and put into this. They should have supported this, but there's been silence. That's indicative. So when people aren't doing the right thing, you eventually put them out of there. We've always believed in what we call the local elections. So in ending what I have to say, I want to thank each and every one of you. Please Go onto our website. And also, it is now time. Look at what is happening. The Parker School, the community, creating a community school. And we're going to support that as long as we can because of some of the work that we've done. Chicago. I don't know if you know about the Operation Hope there. 30,000 students from 5 high schools in the heart of the black community are going to be able to go to school with no tuition. All fully paid, money in their pocket, books paid for, and a parent from their family will be able to do the same thing. And what was said is we're saying, we can no longer wait on anything from any other. We have to do it ourselves. We did it before, we can do it again. It's documented, and we're here to make that happen. So thank you all for coming out to this important exhibit. Let's support that Oakland. Oakland, I'm going to tell you, we get calls. They're always looking at what's going on here. So let's be that force. Let's be that spark that starts that whole new wave of action and movement. All power to the people. Thank you for coming out today.
So I've known Destiny for a really long time. Like a really long time. Decades. And so we're just really blessed to have her here. This is Destiny Muhammad, harpist from the hood. And she's gonna bless us with her stylings.
Good morning, evening, friend. Here's our friendly announcer. I have serious news to pass on to everybody. What I'm about to say could mean the world's disaster. Could change your joy and laughter to tears and pain. All that love's in need of love today. Don't delay, send yours in right away. You know that hate's going around, taking many hearts. Stop it, please, before it's gone too far. The first of evil plans to make us its possession. It will, if we let it, destroy everybody. We all stay precautionary measure. In love and peace you treasure. Hear me when I say you know that love's in need of love today. Oh, don't delay, send yours in right away. You know that hate's going around, breaking many hearts. You gotta stop it, please, before it's gone too far. You know that love's in need of love today. Oh, don't delay, sending it right away. You know that hate's going around, breaking many hearts. Oh, stop it, please, before it's gone too far. You know that love, you know that love. You know the love, oh love, oh love, oh love, oh You know that love's in need and don't delay. Send yours in right away. You know that love. You know that love. You know that love. Thank you all so much. God bless you. God bless the architects, Julian and Dante, I believe in your names. Thank you all so much. Come on, Randall, because you know I can go a while. Come on, man.
Thank you so much. All right, now, some of y'all know that the community has renamed this plaza. What's the name of this plaza? There you go. So, there was just maybe a couple of weeks ago, yeah, two Wednesdays ago, I was just coming out here to take some pictures. I saw all these peoples, and I'm like, what's going on? And Kat Brooks was, she had organized a visual in honor of the folks in Buffalo, New York. It was an incredible experience. Because it was to fight against white supremacy, and that's largely what this piece was created to combat. And so to have this piece as a backdrop for that vigil was really just a tragic coincidence. But as I walked out, the very first person that I saw was Cephas' Uncle Bobby Johnson. Uncle Bobby is Oscar Grant's uncle, and he's been really leading the charge ever since Oscar's, after. It feels like we know it, you know what I mean? It's like, he's been leading the charge along with the rest of his family ever since his murder. Kind of bringing about justice and just heightening, the exposure and the conversation around police killings. And so we're going to have him say a few words. That's all the plan. That's all.
Thank you, Randall. First, I'm affectionately known to the community as Uncle Bobby. I'm the uncle of Oscar Grant. Of course, Oscar's mother, Wanda, is my baby sister. And Oscar is my very first nephew. Actually, I just got back from Minneapolis for the second year anniversary of George Floyd. And I didn't realize until a few moments ago that this society cage was created on the basis of Breonna Taylor and George Floyd. So we should really take this as extreme importance that this installation happens to be here on George Floyd's anniversary. Thank you, Randa, for that. How many of you have actually read the writings around this society cage? Raise your hand, I just want to see. Thank you. Thank you. It's like saying their names. You have to read it, you have to feel it, you have to develop that empathy and begin to feel what should motivate you. I didn't realize until I really stood inside and looked at all the names of those that had been murdered, not just by police, but also by lynching. And I know I'm probably speaking to the choir, but we are clear that the United States is what, only 5% of the world's population, but yet has 25% of the prison population. And I'm sure we all should know just how many of us is incarcerated here in the United States. And if you don't know, I'm just going to give you this number. It's 2.3 million. And many, many more that has something to do with this incarceral system. Michelle Alexander, in her book, Mass Incarceration in the Time of Color Violence, whispered to us about this bird cage. And yet now we have an installation that's here that's titled Society's Cage. And I'm not sure if Randolph talked about the 4 pillars that it represents, but if not, I'll talk about it just a little bit. One of the pillars is lynching. Another pillar is police violence. Another pillar, of course, is the criminal justice system, the incarceration system. And the other pillar is the execution system. I don't know about you, but I'm actually pained, maybe more so because I was just with the family of George Floyd in Minneapolis, spending this weekend, sadly, trying to celebrate some hope that some changes will take place. But then I come home, because I was asked to stay because Philando Castile's mother, Valerie Castile, is having an event tonight at 7 o'clock, the same time this started, and I told her I couldn't stay because I had to go back home because of this installation and an opportunity to talk about it being here at the Oscar Grant Plaza. You know, the struggle that you did in bringing that name here and embracing us as a family and shouting out, "I am Oscar Grant." Because it was because of all of you that we got, for the first time in California state history, an officer arrested, charged, convicted, and sent to jail. Thank you. And I want to say to Randolph, it's not just me, but it's all of us in this Oakland community that was able to make that happen. But not just me, also leading the charge to bring about police reduction and violence, but many others, of course. I'm sure you will hear from CAT, you know, and many other organizations throughout the city of Oakland, and even across this nation, that is speaking to this heinous act of this violence that we see around this country. You know, and of course, George Floyd, when you read up here on this platform, you should remember what happened to George happened to Oscar. Think about this. That knee that was on Oscar's neck, Oscar was saying, "I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe." The same thing George Floyd was saying as we watched Officer Chauvin with George Floyd on his stomach, just like Oscar, in a prone position, hand behind his back. Basically, Oscar to be handcuffed, George Floyd handcuffed, Tony Peroni with his knee on Oscar's neck, pushing his face through the concrete floor, cracking the bones in his face. Mesny stands up, shoot Oscar in the back, the bullet goes through his body, ricochet off the ground, hits him in the chest, and collapses his lung. Then he bleeds to death in the hospital. And he said, excuse the children out here, "Bitch ass nigga, bitch ass nigga, bitch ass nigga," before he was murdered. We should all be outraged. We witnessed that. But sadly, it's not just Oscar that have died that way. Just recently, we watched George Floyd die the exact same way. And then back in Minnesota, Dante Wright gets killed by Kim Potter, who claims weapon confusion. What made Oscar case so significant, Johannes Mesley claimed weapon confusion. You hear what I'm saying? 13 years later, we have the same incident occur again. I'm going to pin it with this because I know it's others coming to speak. We're talking about lynching. 33,440 been lynched from a period of, I can't remember the exact years that it talked about. But my point, 1882 to 1968, that averaged one a week. But yet we have police violence in this country that is killing us 3 times a day, averaging 1,000 a year. And sadly, just in this state, and this is where we need all of your support, California is one of the most egregious policing states in this country. We know for a fact that on an average, 175 to 250 are being killed by the California Police Department in this state. AB 71 use of force data collection gives you that information so you can look it up yourself. These are facts. So we got work to do. You cannot no longer just sit here and observe. You have to become involved. I don't know what your role is in becoming involved, but you have to become involved. Michelle Alexander says it's going to take a mass movement to bring about this egregious act to be reduced, eventually to stop. And my final words is, this is not even about us today. It is about the grandbabies. Put it this way, it's about your babies, your grandbabies, and your great-grandbabies. Because if you fail to stand today, it will be their demise tomorrow. So we have a responsibility to our future generations that is coming behind us. I don't know about any of you, but I've been impacted. And I am not gonna let my babies and my grandbabies and my great-grandbabies not have a right to life. I've been committed to this work from day one and will be committed to it for the rest of my lives. And we hope, it's our hope, that you commit yourselves to it too, so that your babies and your grandbabies and your great-grandbabies can live in a society where we don't have to wage war against one another. Because that's where we're headed. So we got work to do. Don't sit here idle. Thank you, Uncle Bobby.
We've got 2 folks coming up. We've got Oakland's poet laureate. She was an artist and a mover before she got that title, but Ayodele Nzinga is going to come up and oh, I'm sorry. Dr. Ayodele Nzinga is going to come up and bless us with some words.
Randolph, come and assist me, please. What's up, Cheryl Fabio? Joe Grant. No, put it on me. Khalid Wajid. Hey, Khalid, remember back in college, you thought I was playing when I said I was an artist? Art is important. Art is what has brought us here today. Art has convened you to talk about the very serious things that Uncle Bobby shared with you. There's a poet laureate, a charged with representing the people, representing Oakland. Oakland sounds a certain way. Making me the laureate did not muzzle my mouth. Handed me a few extra microphones. I think the job of a good artist is sometimes to say what you think but cannot say. So I brought my rage today. I'm tired. I'm angry. I'm tired of funerals, protests, marches, investigations that go nowhere. I'm tired of public and private lynchings. And I'm absolutely baffled and confused by the fact we've had our rage silenced. You are not allowed to share your anger publicly. Let me do it for you. We pause from mourning to mourn. We park grieving to grieve. Always a reason to march, protest, push back. We speak truth to power, but power ain't listening. It's somewhere riding around with truth in the trunk, helping us look for her. I am tired. I am so close to weary, I can see the lights in the window. I live outside my own mind because I am dangerous when I am at home. I am a straight razor. I've been cut to the bone, hollowed out like a gourd, poured to the dregs. This is not resilience. The persistence in bearing children. The intention is to raise them. Grandchildren is the intention. Grandpa people, a divine goal. This persistence is not resilience. It's a war cry. Danced outside death's door. We go on because rivers flow and suns set and the natural precedes the perverse, and in the end, nature, God's law, wins. And my anger is based in love, so I am dangerous. I would cross any line to protect us, to see us whole, well, alive, with our souls unscathed. There are no hashtags or slogans in this prayer, just black bodies pushed to the edge of existence, still existing and bearing children in resistance. This is not resilience, this is a war cry. Pain worn publicly like a Shango red line down the side of a black face. We are disturbed and quite likely disturbing. Yet we walk through the valley of madness holding our breath. We are sore to the touch and we are sharp-edged trouble, bubbling in large pots. We've been ground to dust, pressed to powder, disrespected and dismissed by terrified evil drinking its own Kool-Aid. And it won't be content just to die. You want to take the planet with you. Selling the very last tree. Cooking the very last fish. Have the Afrofuturists considered the Eurofuturist? And what if we rode around midnight and took only sharp machetes, leaving all them wooden nickels, food stamps, and nooses behind, with those still dreaming milk and honey in a land founded in blood, maintained in blood? Where solutions look like lots under freeways filled with dog houses that people sleep in. And I'm tired. I am weary. I'm a hollow gourd poured out, and I'm dangerous because I know what's at the bottom of the Kool-Aid pitcher, and I ain't thirsty. I am weary. You can catch me in the whirlwind on the yellow line on the freeway, 2 exits past, minding how I behave under moonlight, coming smooth undone, under the swoon of remembering what you done done to my soul. It's off key now, the rewind don't work. You got me trapped where prayers don't land and they don't do hope. And we can dance, keep serving, and we can dance. The thought of that smells a lot like iron and funeral hymns. And I know all the words. Y'all keep serving like that. And we can dance. Yeah, we can dance.
I mentioned Kat Brooks a little earlier, as she had organized the vigil in honor of the Buffalo massacre, but she's been doing this work with the Anti-Police Terror Project. She's been doing this work. All right, so it was just appropriate that we had her speak as well. Kat? Our artists are free to move about the cabin. If you want to be in the cage, we're not trying to cage you. But yes, it is.
What's up, Oakland? It's a rough day when I'm speechless. To Randolph's point, we did hold a vigil for those in Buffalo. And we got here, and this was here. And I didn't know what it was at first. And then, of course, started walking around and reading what it said. And I couldn't believe how tragically appropriate it was. 4 pillars. I would say that all of those pillars are one pillar. And that is the war that has been and continues to be waged against black bodies in this country. All with the same goal, all with the same anti-blackness, all with the same violence. I did a post today on Twitter where I said, we keep talking about the guns. And we should talk about the guns, right? Yes, there should be a waiting period. Yes, there should be mental health checks. Yes, you should have a license. I mean, you got a license to drive. You should have a license to carry something that kills you. No, hunters do not need assault rifles. I'm a gun owner. I shoot. You don't need assault rifles. But can we also talk about the violence that white supremacy, the governing ideology of this country, can we talk about the violence that breeds? Can we talk about the violence that race-based capitalism breeds? Can we talk about the fact that every single which way this country operates breeds mental health crisis, desperation, despair? Can we talk about that? Can we talk about root causes? Can we stop ineffectively and inefficiently responding to violence instead of investing in prevention? Instead of identifying and dealing with the root cause? Because if we don't, and some people ain't gonna like this sentence and I don't really care. If we don't do that, you can pass every gun law known to man, and we will continue to put Band-Aids on gunshot wounds, literally, and oh yes, bury our children.
We have that fight, you know, on a micro level here, every budget cycle, which by the way, we're in the May revise right now. But you're elected. What's up, Libby? Y'all know ain't no love lost there. But your electeds continue to try to convince us that the way to deal with the violence in our communities is to continue to give over half of our general fund to the tune of $350+ million goddamn dollars to a police department, to badges and guns. Well, guess what? You can't get peace with more violence. And American policing is violence. And I got another thing for you. Police do not interrupt crime. Let's talk about Texas. I'm gonna tell the truth today. They stood outside, 40+ of them, armed to the teeth, while parents begged them, pleaded with them, screamed for them to go in and save their children, and they fucking stood there. I'm sorry for the babies.
Telling the truth though.
But that's where we keep putting our money. And they say that people like me, that say stop doing that because it does not work. I'm sorry, how much more do you need, OPD? 400 million? 500 million? $1 billion? What's the answer? No amount of investment in violence is going to bring us peace. If we want our neighbors, our loved ones, our children, our partners, our people to stop dying, then we have to tell the truth. We have to invest in our humanity. America has to tell the truth. And to my partner in creative crime, Ayodele's point, we have to express our rage publicly. Express our rage and act on that rage. If we tell them what to do, if we stay in these streets, if we hold them accountable, if we call out white supremacy when it rears its ugly head. You know there are children here. Some people actually have the nerve to go to the lake with signs celebrating Buffalo in Oakland. So let us not fool ourselves. White supremacy lives even here. California, for all our progressive sunshine, that bubble we project to the world, California law enforcement agencies kill more people here than any other state in the country. What will break us finally? 400 years of rapes, lynching, murders, oppression, incarceration, starvation. What will break us? And what will that breaking look like? That's the question for you to take home in your hearts. What is enough enough? When is enough enough? When are we done? When are we willing to put our bodies
about the reason that it's here? Reflecting on the powerful words of those speakers before me. And as a son of Oakland, as a musician who usually uses an instrument to express himself, but also uses his words, who's been put in these positions as an educator to stand in front of our youth every day and tell them that there is hope, that you can make a difference, to be your authentic self, to stay inspired, to lead us. As I think about being a kid growing up in East Oakland, California, was able to learn how to play piano through an Oakland public school, was able to go on to study music in New Orleans and Louisiana, Illinois, and travel over to 30 countries representing this community. I know that there is hope. I know that dreams do come true. And as I was appointed a cultural strategist for this place right here, this building right here, working with the city to come into their space to help uplift the motto of Oakland, which is love life. Taking the energy that I've learned, that I've taken from following Cat Brooks all the way from here, all the way to Fruitville, we marched. or taking the energy of listening to the words of Ayodele. Knowing that we can make a difference when we put our intention in the right place and be our authentic self. So I'm gonna perform in this cage and reclaim it with love, reclaim it with inspiration, reclaim it with creativity, reclaim it with healing for the people. Is that all right with y'all? Is that all right with y'all, Oakland? So let's bring some music, let's bring some vibrations. Everybody clap your hands. Let's go, my man. Let's drop it down on the one time. You can turn it up a little bit. I want everybody to put your hands up high. Put your hands to the sky. Yo, this is Black Man Love. Black fist raised, black joy parade, looking for a black queen, she the one. We're still dealing with trauma from the transatlantic. That's generational damage, these scars are hard to bandage. That weight is hard to manage. I still feel my ideal partner sister, brown sugar, she's sweet as candy. They try to destroy the black family, the black community, they fear a black planet. But knowledge, wisdom, understanding, keep us overcoming and advancing. Black culture get exploited, they take advantage. That's why we need economic empowerment and financial literacy. Watch the stock market, watch the talk. Once I would've caught that change, stock option, they been robbing the hood. I've been watching like owls, I've been thinking just how could I change the whole shit from within and give out, give back to the people. Put your fists up, put your fists up. All my people out there, put your fists up. We about to change it for the people, yeah. Yo, put your fists up, put your fists up. All my people out there, put your fists up. We do it for the people, for the people, for the people. Let me tell you something, Yo, this is black reparations, black school, black teacher, black liberation, black entrepreneurs starting black corporations. Keep the black dollar in the black community. The key to black liberation is a black celebration. Cookouts in the backyard, we moving up the cadence. Got enough for everybody, call over the neighbors. Good vibration, it feel like Jamaica. Calling shots like a king, yo, it feel like the Lakers. Check and chip run, put the team on the banner. I'm just trying to lift us up, raise a new standard. I'm just trying to lift us up, take the whole hood on the road, do it like hammer. They say the first people do it for example. All they see are only people cause I need examples. Won't let last dollar lay it on the table. And I stay faithful, stay true cause I do it for the people. For the people, for the people, for the people, for the people. Put your fists up on my people. I do it for you, I do it for you, yo. For the people, for the people, for the people, for the people. I do it for the people, for the people, for the people, for the people out there. Somebody say, oh yeah. Say, oh yeah. Say, for the people. For the people. For the people. I do it for the people. For the people. For the people. Yeah. Oh, thank y'all. Y'all feeling good? Let me do one more. Like I was saying earlier, I was appointed cultural strategist working with the city administrator's office to help uplift the city of Oakland's motto, which is love life. And we know that Oakland has a lot to do in this building to represent that motto, to represent that motto for all the violence, to represent that motto for our youth, to represent that motto when they're having meetings, how they're engaging with each other, to represent that motto when we're in community engaging with each other. If we wake up every day, if we walk down the street, smile at our neighbors, go into these businesses and have that motto, love life, in our mind and reflect that in our actions, we'll have a much better city, a much better place for all. So I'm gonna do this song, Universal Love. The remix vibe. And I want y'all to have a little fun. You wanna stand up and dance, vibe with me? We're gonna spread love all around the world. We spread love, spread love all around the world. Yeah. I feel like universal love all around the world. This one for my people near and far. I hit you with the sound that'll touch your heart. Blessings like a message that was sent from God. I spread universal love all around the town. So claim they are the king, but I wear the crown. Shining like the biggest and the brightest star. Blessings like a message that was sent from God. Hey yo, universal love, but you get your return. Every day's a lesson we live and we learn. I take a look around and got me so concerned. Feels like these other times the statements your return. So I look in the mirror, see a God's reflection. No one to change, I wanna see the years of my perception. Look every person in the eye, allow a real connection. Fear no man, I know the angels over me protecting. No weapon formed against me shall ever prosper. Knowing even through the struggle, that just makes me stronger. My sacrifices are the prayers, humble servant offer at the altar. These bars as hard as the rock of Gibraltar. I never falter, got these haters puzzled like a crossword. Hit them with them spiritual laws, Deepak Chopra. Meditation, mantra, affirmation, honor, uplift, up. Most high, Oakland or Wakanda. I spread universal love all around the world. This one for my people near and far. Hit you with the sound that'll touch your heart. Blessings like a message that was sent from God. I spread universal love all around the town. Some claim they are the king, but I wear the crown. Shining like the biggest and the brightest star. Blessings like a message that was sent from God. Hey, yo, universal love all around the world. Universal love all around the world. Spread universal love all around the world. All around the world. Hey, hey. Conscious master, read these passages like I'm a pastor. Acrobatic for the people, I bend over backwards. Trying to keep us moving forward, never going backward. Harriet Tubman in a tunnel holding up a lantern. Trying to lead the way to deeper understanding. Deepest canyons, taking chances, I just keep expanding. The love that I feel, it goes beyond romantic. It's looking out for my brothers like we all was family. It's lifting up my sisters like she was a queen. Empowering these youth and telling them they can be anything. It's spreading energy, synergies through vicinity. Seeking remedy, ending poverty, press to the enemies. Lord, have mercy, can I get a witness? Practicing forgiveness, clear intention, positivity. Speaking into existence. Make that first million, give it back into the community. Make it feel good, music for our healing. Come on, I spread universal love all around the world. This one for my people near and far. Hit you with the sound that'll touch your heart. Blessings like a message that was sent from God. I spread universal love all around the town. Some claim they are the king, but I wear the crown. Shining like the biggest and the brightest star. Blessings like a message that was sent from God. Blessings like a message that was sent from God. Blessings like a message that was sent from God. Blessings like a message that was sent from God. Blessings, count your blessings every day, y'all. Peace. Thank y'all very much.
Right on, Kim. All right, we had Oakland's Poet Laureate up a little earlier, and the Youth Poet Laureate up next. Vice Youth Poet Laureate and two-time Oakland Youth Poet Laureate.
Wow.
This Kailan is black, and I did it again. Kailan. Yes. I'm sorry. I like to get people's names right, so keep correcting me. Kailan. We were just lucky to have her. It was very short notice, and she was gracious enough to come out. So she said she saw the lineup, and she really needed to be here. So we're thankful that she was able to make time in her busy schedule. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone. Okay, so I have 2 poems prepared for tonight. Okay. Because I'm a black sister of 5, I watch my back when walking through stores, telling my siblings not to touch anything or be too loud in fear of being seen as thieves. Because I have 2 little black sisters, I tell them not to wear anything too revealing or use too much slang or they'll be labeled as ghetto or ratchet. Because I have 2 little black brothers, I tell them to stand up straight, no sagging, smile, don't play with water guns, don't use too much slang or curse, keep your hands out of your pockets, do this and don't do that, or you end up shot dead or in a prison serving an adult's life sentence. Because I'm a black sister, I have to come straight home where I might get kidnapped and my body sold on the black market. Crazy how the illegal market created by the white man was nicknamed after the slaves he smuggled through it. Crazy how the same men who have sworn to put down their lives to protect my community are the very same ones laying down the lives of my community's children. It's pretty messed up. It's pretty messed up that no one understands thug life even as it was trending. Tupac said thug life stands for the hate you give little infants, F's everyone. How was that so hard to understand? All of this fear instilled in us, the black child, from the second our mothers find out they're pregnant is why there's so much retaliation against the murderers protecting us. It's why we're hashtags so our children and their children's children may live without the fear of going through life with a target on every inch of their skin. The skin that makes us a threat. The skin that was cut open and bleeding through the hundreds of years of slavery. The skin that became the reason we were enslaved in the first place. The skin we were proud of and showed off with honor and pride was turned into insult and sin. To all the cops out there with children of their own, think about how you want them seen. Think about them when your finger is about to pull the trigger. Think about pulling the trigger to end their life because someone out there is waiting for their baby to come home. Because someone, a parent, partner, child, friend, just like you, is about to lose one they love. Just think about it, please. This second one is actually about a conversation that I had to have with my mom because of the career path that I want to go down. So it's not a path, it's what I'm gonna do, it's where I'm gonna get. I'm actually going to school to be a lawyer, and not just one of those lawyers who just get cases and stuff. No, I'm focusing on domestic abuse cases. I'm focusing on criminal justice. I'm focusing on getting people who have been wrongfully convicted out of prisons because, like I said, I have younger brothers. I have a brother the same age as me as well, and it's just like all this craziness happening. I don't want them to end up one of these names. I'm gonna make sure they don't end up one of these names. My mama said if a white boy is born the same exact time as me, same day, same year, same season, he is already more than me. He has more status than me. He will already be given the knowledge and materials that I will, at an older age, have to fight to have at the tips of my fingers. He will have one foot in the door while I can barely get into the same building. He will already have the money that I will have to scrape up and save for. He will already be more valued. If his body is found, it will be my brother who is at the top of that suspect list, even if it was his white best friend who stabbed him, shot him in the back as if it was a game. Because white boys are born with the privilege of a shield. Because white boys have the privilege to sit where they please. Because white boys can get away with the murder and wipe their hands of my brother's blood until he makes some headlines as the next Emmett, as the next Duante, as the next Oscar, as the next Manuel, as the next Tyrone, as the next white boy is born. The next little black girl's dreams will be that much harder to reach. The next little black girl's voice will have that much less of an impact. The next little black girl's screams will be silenced by the hand of a white boy's callous fingers in a dark alleyway. Her skin is his shield as he defiles her innocence and walks away a free man from court. Because little black girls are not meant to be seen or not meant to be heard, because little black girls are meant to change the world. Well, I guess the world wasn't ready for me.
Get your hands up. Don't nobody move. But I'm unarmed, Mr. Officer. So why did you just shoot? Now I'm running for my life. When I get to see my baby or my lady, it's running through my mind, Mr. Officer, Mr. Officer. Why you so scared of me, the Black King? Ooh, Mr. Officer, why are you so scared? Why are you so scared of me? Why are you so scared? Why are you so scared of me? Why are you so scared? Why are you so scared of me? Why are you so scared? Why are you so scared of me?